It's a bull. Good morning. Hey, what's up? This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea. Lovely day out there. A little cloudy, but still damn nice. 80 degrees though, man. We're back into our summer weather. This is the Lauderdale by the Sea cam, in case you're not familiar with it. For those of you watching me all the time, you know I have this up here usually to start the morning video out with. And let's kind of move. It's 80 degrees out there too, man. We're back into our summer months. But I got to tell you, if you lived in Florida sometime, wouldn't you say that we had a great season? I mean, our weather was really great up until May. Got to love it. And let me kind of move out of here and move. And by the way, again, I am right. If you follow my hand and you keep walking down this pier and you keep walking down the road that it connects to, I'm about 3 blocks away at best on the right-hand side. Been in the same location since 1995, and I've been doing this since 1977. I'm a full-time precious metal and rare coin dealer. We also do jewelry, artwork, antiques, and other things. I hardly ever talk about that. This show pretty much centers around precious metals, which I have been through 2 major bull markets already in this. And again, I'm a second-generation dealer in precious metals. With that said, let's move along to what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to talk about a little bit of news here, a little bit of a zero hedge, see if there's anything on there. Not too much. I can see. I'll discuss some of the headlines if I can. And gata.org. Also, an interesting thing is the resetting of the price of gold. We're going to talk about the government reset price of gold here. It's happened once before, and it appears like it might happen again here. Sounds like a logical, good idea by the government, but then again, whoever said governments were logical and smart? So let's move into spot prices here. Kind of really odd when I first opened up this page a little bit this morning here. I'm going to do a quick refresh here on this screen, and let's see what happens. Down a little bit, was 1892, but what a crazy range. I guess there's some data coming out today. I'm not quite sure. I guess we'll see it in ZH what data is supposed to show up today. But the markets last night were pretty crazy. Take a look at this. And funny enough, yesterday's coin was a bear, I believe. And overall, maybe it was bearish. I don't know. I don't know what, as far as that coin toss in the morning, today was a bull, but the coin toss in the morning, I'm not quite sure. Should we base the coin toss, the bull or the bear, on the close in New York or the close in the evening price? I guess I've got to verify this. Let's use New York closing for now on. Let's use that as the guideline for the early morning coin spin, by the way, which is just for fun. And here, let's talk about spot prices real quick. Again, these ranges were just really crazy. Take a look at that. 1870, 189, basically 1872 to 1894. And it looks like when I got up this morning, I looked at prices, they were closer to this 1870 range, 1870s and 1880s pretty much all morning. So I believe that the markets got hammered overnight pretty much. Maybe London markets as well. I'm really not quite sure where the world spot prices are derived from. Maybe that's something else I should find out. I just like the ranges that CCE gives on here. And by the way, CCE is a private subscription network. They've been around for ages and ages. My father was a subscriber to CCE back when you had to feed a piece of paper into the machine to type your message out like a teletype. Crazy stuff, but good company. Been around a long time. I like their spot prices because the page is static. Let's take a look at silver too. Same crazy range. 20. Well, not crazy. That is actually. What am I saying? This is not a crazy range for silver. Of late, it has been, because silver's kind of been like sitting in this one little spot for a while, barely making these 50-cent moves. But $1 and $2 moves last year and a year before certainly wouldn't be considered crazy for silver. It seemed like to be the norm. What's crazy for silver is just seems to be sitting in very range bound, and that's very odd to me. Anyone got any thoughts out there? Put them in comments. And again, look at this range, 2752 to 2795. And platinum, look at down almost 1100 again. So I think platinum is a superb buy at this level. In fact, I guess I don't understand platinum that well. It's not a market I read a lot about. My understanding about platinum is run by a cartel, almost like a mob cartel. It consists of the cartel that runs the platinum prices up and down, and palladium, I believe, as well, are Russians, South Africans, and Canadians. Those are the 3 big players in the platinum market. And the palladium market, I believe it. And they are known for moving that market around purposely. I mean, and again, I've heard it referred to as a cartel. Maybe we'll talk about that sometime. Maybe we'll do something on platinum and palladium one day, even though only one person a year asks me about palladium. Who cares? No less, look at that range, down 1130. I think platinum is a superb buy. The premiums aren't crazy too, by the way. I've got some 1 ounce bars here available. They were crazy, but the premiums on platinum have come down quite a bit. And silver, it's all over the place again right now. It's making these 50-cent ranges, but again, that's not crazy. I'm going to talk about platinum real quick before I get into what I was going to talk about is the government reset of the price of gold, and because it reminded me of a story. I remember when I was younger. I'm still young, but I remember when I was younger that platinum was traditionally always a few $100s over the price of gold. Anyone remember that? If gold was like, let's say $550, platinum was $750 or something like that. You know, if gold was $350, platinum was $550. And even when in the 80s, when gold ran up to, I think it was like $800 an ounce, which would be like, you know, $5,000 in today's dollars or more. Platinum was $1,200 or something, or $8,900, it was $1,000 or whatever it was. So platinum was always typically higher than the price of gold. So I don't know what happened, but I guess a lot has to, platinum and palladium has a lot to do with industry as well. I remember an interesting thing is that Ford, when catalytic converters were first being announced that they were going to go to all catalytic converters and that they would be using palladium, when that news announcement was kind of made, I guess the price of palladium and platinum started going up in value. And the funny thing is Ford Motor Company outright announced, and this was crazy because I think palladium was, or platinum, was it platinum they were using at the time, was only a couple $100 an ounce or $300 an ounce at the time. And Ford came out and made an announcement that they were going to buy like 1 million ounces. They hadn't done it yet. This is because they're not precious metal traders. They're idiots. They build great cars, but they had no knowledge about, you know, not telegraphing that they were going to buy platinum for catalytic converters. So they actually telegraphed they're going to buy so many ounces outright almost that day. Or within a day or so, the price of platinum had like doubled. It was crazy, and that's because of the three cartels. They saw that news flash and they said, "Oh man," and probably people jumped into it as well. But Ford had to cost themselves. Oh gosh, can you imagine? You know how many millions of dollars that cost them by telegraphing that that buy. Anyway, interesting story. I'm not sure any of you remember that. And gosh, I kind of got carried away with the story again. So prices are kind of down a little bit today. My recommendation: buy the friggin' dip. We're in a bull market. We're in a long-term bull market here. And I'll let you know when it turns into a bubble. So at least if I can see the bubble, I'll let you know. But we are not even close to bubble territory in precious metals. So keep buying those dips, folks. Let's move into zero hedge and see what kind of stories we got going on here. Not too much in precious metals that I really wanted to talk about here. How to lose 50 million hedging inflation. Oh, that sounds like a fun article to read. Anyway, Biden launches plan to close out. Okay, that has nothing to do with gold. Sorry, I didn't mean to read it out loud to you. And again, I just kind of always like to roll over ZH. And a friend of mine told me when I was younger, look for news articles and read between the lines. Find a way to profit from it. And again, read between the lines. It's not always what they're telling you. It's what they're not telling you as well sometimes that you can learn from. Let's take a look here. Super Thursday arrives. Futures flat ahead of ECB decision of critical CPI print. Well, maybe that's why gold prices were all kind of wonky this morning in what appeared to be London markets and overnight markets. Apparently, and I sincerely believe that when you see crazy, wonky gold prices, that there's something politically or economically going on out there. You know, some days you just look at gold prices, what the hell happened there? And you really can't tie it to anything specific. I believe that gold telegraphs a lot of things out there, and that people in the know kind of recognize this thing. When gold all of a sudden just jumps up, people are looking and saying, well, you know, something serious happened in order for that to happen, and we can't. Anyways, let me move on from here. Markets were crazy last night. Super Thursday arrives. I don't know what I call it, Super Thursday. Bitcoin climbs as global bank regulators give crypto mixed blessings. Folks, I'm not going to go into cryptos right here. It is not my expertise, and I'm far from it. But I've always said it is a digital fiat. It's not a tangible item like gold. It's not made by stars. It's made by some guy named Satoshi. So we don't even know if it's a guy. For all we know, it could be CIA. It could be a government entity. It could be that Kim from North Korea. That's how he finances his stuff, I guess. But no, I made that up. But no less, regardless of who created Bitcoin, and regardless of my opinion on why I think gold is the ultimate tangible asset that has no third-party risk if you hold it in your hands, doesn't require power or internet either. So I had to throw that in. Sorry about that. My feelings primarily, and I think I know I'm right on this, is that the one thing I am absolutely dead sure correct on is that governments and banks hate competition. They write the rules, they write the laws. They hate competition. So anyone that truly, genuinely believes, and I'm a person that believes in, I think that the U.S. dollar should have competition. I think that all kinds of different types of new currencies should come into effect. I think that I should have an option to pay in dollars, Bitcoin, or gold for that matter. Okay, I think there should be multiple legal forms of payment in case one really takes a shit, which we've seen happening with the U.S. dollar more or less. But no, don't forget, they're in a tenuous situation with the U.S. dollar. Banks are, governments are. And they don't like competition. They're not going to allow Bitcoin to compete with the dollar or the Canadian dollar or the yuan or the Russian ruble. It's not going to happen, folks. It's just not going to happen. What I see, the writing on the wall that I see, and this is more conspiratorial, is that this is a rollout for cashless societies, and that somehow maybe it is the BIS or some major entity out there that created Bitcoin and just trying to get the younger generation used to it so they can roll them into a cashless society. And cashless society is just plain dangerous. In a cashless society, they can take your money. They know where everything goes to. There's no privacy. And that's what they're trying to do, is take away your privacy and your independence. Okay? That's the whole point of going to a cashless society. And the other thing, too, you owe IRS money. No, they don't need a check. They just took it out of your account before you even knew it. You don't want this, folks. When I digress again, boy. Transitory inflation, subline yet ridiculous. A lot of good articles in ZH right here. And here we go again. This is about the hacker. We talked about this the other day, the ransomware attack. Well, apparently they got the money back. So how the hell do they get, if Bitcoin is so anonymous and so easy to hide? How did the FBI get this back? There's a lot of secrets here, folks, and I don't think you're going to see it in the news. They're going to try to stuff this article down the rabbit hole, or this whole thing. Something going on there, and it involves Bitcoin. So if you're a Bitcoin investor or a Bitcoin person that likes to buy and sell Bitcoins, you probably should start researching this on your own and see where it leads you. Again, remember what I told you, read between the lines. And there's a lot of lines to read between in this Russian bullshit hacker thing. I think this was an inside job, personally. Like they said here. Anyway, let's move along here. First European physical gold ATM opens in Prague. That's awesome. What was I talking about? Even though they're not making money out of it, let's get people used to the idea of not being stuck with U.S. dollars or with Canadian dollars or with British pounds or other worthless international fiat. Let's get people used to having a hard, tangible asset that was made by stars and has been used for money for 5,000 years or more. Again, I could digress there real easy. Lots of weird stuff in the news, too. Oxford moves. Anyway, so let me not get into that. Let's move along to Israel Defense Forces strike Syria as, this could be a black swan event. I mean, if things blow up in the Middle East real quick, of course, anybody that's followed gold for 30, 40 years knows that when there's a potential for a major war going on, gold usually benefits from that as well. So here you go. Read between the lines. And all right, I'm going to kind of move into GATA.org. They're talking about Paris and Berlin lead fight to dilute EU stricter bank capital rules. Now, I'm sure this is and ties in with the BIS 3 or the Basel 3 agreement or whatever it is that limits derivatives in London and European markets, and I think in U.S. markets as well. However, you know, them doing that, this Basel III agreement, again, getting rid of gold derivatives, and basically what are they doing? They're taking the risk that all these bankers that were making, these London bankers, COMEX bankers that were making huge fortunes, but putting the economy or putting economic situations and people in huge risk by these huge paper derivatives that didn't really exist. I think that the bankers to be are recognizing that, first off, they've got major issues, economic issues. We have major global economic issues. We've got countries fighting with each other's tariffs. We've got supply issues. We've got an economies, a world that was closed for a year. We've got failing currencies. We've got, there's all kinds of stuff here bad going on. And I'm sure that if you're one of the men in suits, and again I use that just jokingly, that are sitting behind the desk with your black helicopters, you're thinking here, well, listen, what do we got to do here? The shit's going, it's going to hell in a handbasket. So I believe that all these rules and these regulations, including Paris and Berlin lead fight to dilute EU stricter bank capital rules, I think they see the writing on the wall, and they're just trying to limit the blood loss that's going to happen when the shit hits the fan. Again, that's my opinion. The shit is going to hit the fan, folks, economically. It'll be a global thing. Who's going to take it out? Who's going to take out the global economy? Will it be the United States? Will it be China? Will it be, probably U.S. So we do everything great. So if it's anybody that's going to take out the entire global economy, it might as well be U.S. Go USA. Sorry about that. What else are we going to talk about here? We've talked about all this, and again, as I said, if you are a new watcher, you've heard me say this many times, folks, so forgive me for my regulars. If you're a new watcher, if you don't have GATA.org on your bookmark bar above, then you don't really know shit from Shinola when it comes to gold and silver. These guys are the guys that will tell you about who the players are, how they play the game, and of course every game is rigged out there. Card games, elections are rigged, economies are rigged, stock market's rigged, and how do you win at these games? Well, you know how you know who the players are, and you know how they rig the game. That's how you win at these games, and this is what GATA.org is really good at doing. So it has to be on your bookmark bar. You need to be reading it once a week. And again, if you're new to my videos here, you'll know that we do talk about some of these articles once in a while. Now I'm going to get on to the great government reset of the price of gold. And you're kind of going to see where I'm going with this. It wasn't clickbait because, some people are kind of assuming what that thumbnail said. It was something different, but and you're right, it is something different here. Let's talk about Peter Schiff here. I like Peter Schiff. He's not competition to me, so I don't mind showing you Schiff Gold. I am a local brick and mortar dealer who buys and sells gold and silver bars. If you live in my community, I'm a valuable resource to you, and so are your local coin dealers. I always recommend don't buy online. Definitely buy from local people. You got to find a good local guy, though. Let's take a look at the article here, and this is an older one too. It talks about the great government gold heist of 1933, and a lot of you already know all about this, and we've talked about it on our videos in the past here. Yesterday marked the anniversary of the great government gold heist of 1933, ordered by President Franklin D. Roosevelt. On April 5th, 33, the President signed Executive Order 6102, a measure to stop gold hoarding, but it was in reality, and that has something to do with Gresham's Law. What happened is people wanted to hold gold instead of holding currencies at the time, and what is Gresham's Law? Says that bad money will drive out good money, and that's true. People will hold on to good money and they'll spend the bad money, and that's what was happening. We were getting gold hoarding. A massive gold confiscation scheme. The order required private citizens, partnerships, associations, and corporations to turn in all but small amounts of gold to the Federal Reserve in exchange for $20.67 per ounce. Now we're getting into the meat of what I'm talking about, what my thumbnail is about. So, more or less, back in 1933, Franklin D. Roosevelt said, "All right, folks, turn in all your gold, unless it's like your mother's jewelry or something like it. All gold bullion, all gold coins, all coins that don't have a great collectible value." And I'll get into that in a little bit too, because a lot of people think they have to have collector coins, otherwise their coins will get confiscated, which is complete bullshit nowadays. And Peter points that out at the end of this article. FDR says, turn in all your gold, and the Federal Reserve. Now remember, a $20 gold piece had 0.9675 ounces of gold in it at the time in 1933. And also, funny enough, the 1933 $20 gold piece just sold for $19 million yesterday. We discussed that too in yesterday's video, but what a coincidence, all this is coming out. So it had less than an ounce in it. So FDR was willing to give people $20.67 an ounce for their $20 gold pieces, which had less than an ounce in it. So kind of a little bargain. You were getting $20.67 for an ounce, less than an ounce of gold, and a $20 gold coin. So you were making money on that. So it wasn't really a bad deal, and you can understand why a lot of people may have taken advantage of that at the time. The executive order is one of steps Roosevelt took toward ending the gold standard in the U.S. And it looks like Peter's, oh, there he goes, yeah, a little special in the middle. Oh, I guess I got to make that a little smaller. Sorry about that. With the dollar tied to gold, the Federal Reserve found it difficult to increase the money supply during the Great Depression. It couldn't simply fire up the printing presses like it can today. Why? Because they had to have gold to back up that dollar. Remember, 0.9675 ounces of gold equated to a $20 bill at the time. The Federal Reserve Act required all notes to have 40% gold backing, but the Fed was low on gold and up against the limits. By stealing gold from the public, and basically that's what but he didn't really steal it. He made you an offer, and if you're stupid to take it, it was your fault at the time, in my opinion. So Peter calls it stealing. I'm just saying is people weren't smart enough to see what was really happening. The Fed was able to boost its gold holdings by doing this. After 6102, just 2 weeks before prohibiting banks from paying out and exporting gold, just 2 months after an enactment, the U.S. effectively went off the gold standard when Congress enacted a joint resolution erasing the right of creditors to demand payment in gold. All right. Then in 1934, so basically Roosevelt was just trying to beef up the gold supplies. Now, this is between World War I and World War II. This is actually during the Great Depression. So a lot of stuff going on here. This effectively increased the value of gold on the Federal Reserve's balance sheet by 16. So what he did is he purchased the gold from Americans at $20.67 an ounce. More or less told them, it was like a forced purchase. So yeah, it was theft. If you don't give it to me, I'm going to throw you in jail. That was theft. Okay. But he did give him $20.67. Thank you very much, in paper, fiat. And then what he did is he built up the gold supply by doing it, FDR, by that little heist there he did. Immediately after paying everybody $20.67, oh, phones are ringing already. There we go. After paying everyone $20.67, and the program was over and he got all the gold he wanted, he raised the price of gold official price of gold to $35 per ounce. Okay, now you see where I'm going with this, people? With my thumbnail? This effectively increased the value of gold on the Federal Reserve's balance sheet to 69% by increasing its gold stores and the confiscation. So you basically, I don't need to read Peter's whole thing. You see exactly what happened. He took it all, he officially repriced it, and what that did is just made the stockpile in U.S. dollars worth even more. So it boosted the actually fiat dollar. In a way, it boosted the fiat dollar. So let's move down here. President Nixon put the final nail in the coffin when he slammed the gold window shut in 1971, severing the last ties the dollars had to gold. Nixon uncoupled gold from its $35 price and suspended the convertibility of dollars into foreign by foreign governments and central banks. Here we go again. Nixon is going to start doing the same thing that we see doing here right now. So sorry about that, folks. Today, the Fed doesn't have to worry about backing its notes with gold. It can increase the money supply with no restraints at all, thanks to the efforts of Roosevelt and Nixon. When he announced the closing of the gold window, Nixon said, "Let me lay to the rest the bugaboo of what is called devaluation, and promised your dollar will be worth just as much as it is today." That was a lie. According to the Consumer Price Index released by the Bureau of Labor, the dollar has lost more than 80% of its value since Nixon's fateful decision or lie. Meanwhile, the dollar value of gold has gone from $35 an ounce to over $1,500. As Peter Schiff points out in Classic Gold Scams Report, despite the hefty fines and long prison terms, the government did little to enforce the confiscation rules, and I don't think really many people went to jail at all. Not many people. The plan worked. He got all the gold he needed at the time, and he was able to. FDR was able to reprice it and create more value in the U.S. system. Was this right or wrong? I don't know. Make your comments. Put a comment in the comment section. Tell me what you think. Was he in a rock and a hard place, or was it just pure theft? Could he have done something different? I'm not smart enough to answer that right now. As Tom Woods explained in an article of the subject, Americans generally went along with the scheme because the paper currency they were receiving in exchange for the gold has always been redeemable in gold in the past. So if you saw anything amiss with FDR when he did this, that did change with Nixon. That's an important point to keep in mind when coin dealers hear the word coin dealers try to convince you that only gold coins remain safe in the next wave of confiscation. So good article here by Peter Schiff. It's called The Great Government Gold Heist of 1933. Short and to the point, but Peter's right about that. As far as gold confiscation in the future, we're no longer on a gold standard. Nixon took us off that, so the government is not going to confiscate gold, period. They're just not going to do it. It would amount to theft. And they wouldn't need to do it because Americans don't hold that much physical gold. It would cost them more to go out and send stormtroopers to your house to get your gold than it would probably the gold is worth. And besides, they don't need it. All they need to do is go after your pension fund with the stroke of a pen, 2%. On every financial transaction, tax your house more, tax your pension fund. They don't need gold. Give me a break. So you're never going to see gold confiscation. However, we talked about resets here, and what are we going to see possibly? I think we're going to see a reset. They reset the price of gold to $42.22. I forget when that was done, but this is a real, sorry, I didn't mean to make you dizzy if you're watching this. Interesting site here. It is here, the Bureau of Fiscal Services. This is the United States Gov site. Current report, April 30, 2021. It tells you how many, and I've never seen this before. I think it's pretty cool. How much gold bullion we have on hand, supposedly in Fort Knox. I hope we do. I hope it's not a bunch of pieces of paper in there saying such and such owes us gold, which is a possibility. GATA.org does talk about that. They have gold on the books of 10 billion. Wow. 920,429,000. That's pretty cool. However, look with the fine troy ounces. Divide this number into this, and you know what number you will get is, I'm going down here, sorry about that. Our gold, our billion ounces, or whatever the hell it is, here, what is it? My apology again, I know that makes some of you dizzy. Our 258,641,878 ounces of gold that we have is officially still priced, now a lot of you don't know this, at $42.22 an ounce. I don't know when they last repriced it. It tells you right here using the U.S. code, statutory rate. But our gold supply is still based at $42.22 per ounce. The market value of the gold reserves based on London gold fixing as of was $493 billion. So I think it's very possible that they are going to reprice gold maybe to the current London level, maybe to the current levels. But again, take a look at this. Our gold reserves are based at 42.222. So they're going to increase the value of their assets, more or less. They're going to increase the value of what we own, which is, what's the most solid thing that a country can own? Gold. That's why everybody owns it. So they're going to take the value of gold, which is currently official $42.22, and they're going to raise it substantially, I think. I think that's going to make their balance sheets look a hell of a lot better. I think that's where we're headed towards, amongst a bunch of other economic regulations, rules, and changes I think we're going to see. I think one of the big things we're going to see is the repricing of gold officially. Tell me what you think in comments below. Let me know what your thoughts of this. Meanwhile, this is pretty cool too. I just read you this. Based on $493 billion worth of gold if we base it on September 30, 2020 gold prices. And if it goes up higher than there, it's even better. So let's see what they officially reset the gold price at. And I'm pretty confident. I'm pretty sure they're going to do that, folks. That's probably going to the big secret right now. And it's not really a big secret. A lot of people talk about it. This is cool too. The deep storage, a portion of U.S. government-owned gold bullion, which the Mint secures in sealed vaults that are examined annually by the Treasury Department's official inspector general and consist of primarily gold bars. They're talking about Fort Knox, and you know, there is still question. You know, there's conspiracy out there that says the gold is not in Fort Knox, but let's not go there right now. We'll talk about that another time. This I found most interesting, and I can't blow it up any more than it is. Working stock. That portion of the U.S. government gold reserve which the Mint uses as raw material for minting congressionally authorized coins and consisting of bars, blanks, unsold coins, and condemned coins. So that's working stock. But below the working stock, hidden here in this little sentence, which most people probably wouldn't get this far, the gold reserve held by the Department of Treasury is partially offset. Get this. Now, does this mean we don't really own our gold? Someone explain this to me. I'm trying to wrap my head around this. Tell me what you think. The gold reserve held by the Department of Treasury is partially offset by a liability for gold certificates issued to the Federal Reserve banks, which are private bankers. The government doesn't own this. So we've partially offset our gold reserve with gold certificates that we gave to the Federal Reserve banks, I'm trying to understand this, at a statutory rate, which Treasury may redeem at any time. So does this indeed mean that we don't have gold in Fort Knox and that we've given the gold to the Federal Reserve, which has loaned it out to people? Someone help me make sense of this. Is anybody really smart that can make a comment in today's video? I'm going to read more about this, and maybe you should too as well. But this kind of throws me off a bit and kind of confirms something that me and a lot of other people believe, that maybe maybe there is no gold in Fort Knox. But maybe I'm reading too much into this. Let me know what you think. Let's talk about yesterday's videos, and let's see here. Oh my gosh. I got to open up my store here shortly. I forgot I'm one employee short today. Stop buying Silver Eagles. I don't think I'm going to be able to really go over comments on this, but got some good comments yesterday. And yesterday's video was primarily about just Silver Eagles being overpriced. And they still are overpriced. They're anywhere from probably $10 to $13 over the spot silver price. There are much better products you can buy, folks. Trust me on this. I'm certain of it. Anyways, I'd like to acknowledge everyone here that watched. And Michael here, I'm going to take a sip of my coffee here real quick. Thank you, sir, for watching again. Do a show where you X-ray eagles, see if they have a chip in them. Oh, this chip thing, folks. I'm sorry. I'm going to just come right out and say it. I know some of you are going to get mad at me, but, you know, there's no chips in Silver Eagles. Trust me. They don't need chips. You have a cell phone. That's already watching everything you do. So there's no chips in Silver Eagle. Don't let that rumor get out there. Don't let it spread. I've destroyed enough Silver Eagles. Send me your Silver Eagles. I'll take them apart in pieces. I'll see if there's any anomalies in them. You know what? Even better, I'll do a specific gravity test on it. So, but to no avail, there's no chips in your Silver Eagles, folks. Trust me on this. And I wouldn't lie to you. If I thought there was, I'd be the first guy giving you that conspiracy. Aaron Lara pointed out the giant fart yesterday at 10:26. That's the microphone. I was showing people the microphone. Ready? You want to hear another one? Oh, gosh. All right. It's not going to do it. There you go. It's rubber feet, so when I move the microphone, it does give that. So I actually have a fart device here that I can use for sound effects. So thanks for watching, Lar. Rick says, I love your videos. They're too long. I don't know, man. I don't know what to do, Rick. If I make them 20 minutes, people tell me they're too short. But thanks for watching, sir. I appreciate it. Eagles are not wonderful products. Silver at $9.99. Absolutely correct, sir. And I'm going to get into that in a moment what the best deals of the day is because I have to go open my store. I forgot. One of my employees is not in today. And actually, I am late. I hope there's not people waiting outside. Probably is. Jim C. says, tell Rick I started. Okay, that was on a conversation with me. Thanks for watching, Jim. I appreciate it. And again, I just like to acknowledge most folks here. There's not too much I can talk about. Oh, yeah, we talked about, someone had made a mention that most silver buyers buy it because they just want to get rich, and I said that's not true. Most silver buyers, smart silver buyers, are in it because they, for wealth preservation and the fact that they can make money on it. If you're in gold and silver to get rich quick, then you're in the wrong market. You need to go to Las Vegas or play the cryptos. Gold and silver is all about wealth preservation, and I agree with you folks too. All you folks that said wealth preservation, I'm 100% with you. Again, I'd love to read all these different comments. And I'd like to acknowledge all these folks here that watch my videos. Thank you very, very much. Sorry, again, didn't get to answer all your comments here. But again, thanks for watching. Let's move along to the best products out there. I'm going to keep this one real short. If you're paying more than $6 per ounce for any silver products, that's probably Silver Eagles and all these things, you're paying too much. Right now, I prefer to see you paying no more than $4 to $5 per ounce over the price of silver for good silver recognizable products. Recognizable products are products that are recognized by major dealers and good dealers and dealers that know what they're doing. When I say recognizable product, I don't mean recognizable by you and your friend or your neighbor. I mean by other dealers. So buy good recognizable products in the $4 to $5 range on silver. Try not to pay more. Definitely don't pay more than $6 per ounce. I've got some great products in my store, but I only deal local, as you know. And gold, same thing. Don't be paying more than $100 per ounce on any gold items. It's just too much, especially when there are gold products available between $60 and $85 per ounce premium. Once these cheaper products run out, which they are, like some of the silver 1 ounce and 10 ounce products are getting really hard to find, and delivery could be out 3 months on some of this product, you may be forced to buy stuff $5 to $6 per ounce. But until you have to spend more than $6, don't. And the same thing with gold. Until you have to spend more than $100 for a gold premium, don't do it. It's a bad idea. Well, that's really about it. This is Brian Kuzmar, and again, I am a local brick and mortar store here in South Florida in Lauderdale by the Sea. Been here since 1977. I only deal local. I don't do any online business or shipping or anything. So if you don't live in my area, I encourage you to buy local. Spend it in your town and keep it there. Even if you don't have a coin dealer or a precious metal dealer in your town, take a drive into the county. Take a half hour, 45-minute drive. If there's nobody in the county, take a drive into the state, even an hour. If you have taken, trust me, you may be buying online. There's some great companies. I advertise to beat JM Bullion, SD Bullion, and APMEX, the three big ones. They're great, reputable companies, but I can beat their prices pretty easily. Find a local dealer in your state that can do that, at least in your state, because here's the other thing. Even the convenience. And say, I'm not going to drive across town or to the state to buy from a local dealer. You're going to have to sell this stuff someday, folks. So you better start establishing a good relationship with a local dealer somewhere in your state when you need to go sell this stuff, because you are not going to want to ship it in the mail to these companies. You're just not. I wouldn't do it. All right. Well, anyway, that's it. This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Ware Coins and Precious Metals in beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea. Call me anytime between 10 and 4 Mondays through Fridays. Happy to help you out with any questions you have and what the best deal of the day is. And I got to open my store, so I got to run. Hey, thanks for watching. Let's see what happens, and have yourself a great day.